Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hand of Fate 2. So we're trying the star. We've done it multiple times and we're getting closer towards success, it feels like, each time. On top of which we're just making progress as far as getting shards and token cards and figuring out what the new cards that I have unlocked somewhat recently are. So, overall, it does seem like we've made some really good progress. There is definitely an argument that maybe I should try for gold in some of the other scenarios instead of just doing the star over and over again. But if any one thing is going to unlock the next scenario, the next challenge, it almost certainly is going to be doing this mission. And so there's two ways you can start here. You can either take the goblet and lose max life at 5 for every failed dice roll, which you're going to fail likely at least the first one if you're without Colborne on your side, and Colborne is dead at the moment. So that then lowers it down to 16, which is still a tall order. There's a very high chance that you still will fail this roll for another 10 damage of health. But does that really matter? Because if you take 4 steps of food, you should be regaining that amount. Now at 14, you have a decent chance of success. Now, but no guaranteed chance. And so you can really drain your life pretty easily. I would need a 4 with 1 dice. There we go. Exactly 12. That was a pretty poor dice roll, even in that scenario. What's worse about that scenario, though, is the time suck around it. Okay. We'll go ahead and copy a success card. And fail. What I'd like to see is to make a level of progress where you always start with like a random card draw or something. And these shamans are set up in such a way that they're not likely to actually hurt me. But yeah, you kind of have a time suck.
A lack of caution opens you to all sorts of influences.
So here we have an encrusted mace that requires 80 fame. There's basically no way I would ever have that. So what the move is almost certainly is to camp, go ahead and sell the encrusted mace for 20. There must be some scenario where that makes sense. And now is probably a good time to buy food. We had no items for them to take in that scenario. Okay, and now we have some decisions to make. First of all, continue exploring. Let's look at the map. Purgatory. The Empire Inquisitors don't matter. Fabled Beast is a good one too. Let's go with the Fairy Ring, let's go with Fabled Beast, then let's go with Purgatory, then let's go with the Demon Heir. Let's see.
Even in my day, it was rare to stumble upon the creatures of the shades. Rarer still, as the mythical fade once more into the night.
So, we're gonna give the creature 15 food. I hope that gives us the token. You catch a twinkle in the eye as you present him with a delicious feast. Let's go ahead and use our character's ability. Now we see there's a success in the middle. The middle card never changes when there's 5. You're guaranteed success. He munches on a bread roll. Whatever you do, if you see a fawn, don't believe a word he says. He almost always lies, he says with a mouthful. You walk along a path, a cheerful sound with a pipe instrument. You come up to a fork of the road where a fawn plays his pan flute while clicking his hooves. Can I help you? He asks. You inquire about the missing child. He says, oh yes, about yay-high scruffy clothes. He went that way, he says, pointing to the left. Let's go right. You tread lightly down the path and come to a magnificent castle. The drawbridge is lowered, so you walk inside. Many goblins and fairies gather in the queen's court. Upon the throne sits the queen, a cherub with 4 faces and a serpent's tail. The first face is a womanly face, the second belongs to a panther, the third is the face of a ghost, and the fourth is the face of a swan. The queen opens all her mouth and her voice echoes, a mere mortal in my court, why have you come? You explain you're looking for a missing child. She looks you up and down and says, I'll trade you the child for one of your blessings. Sure. Go ahead and take this blessing. A goblin walks out of the chamber holding a hand of a small child. He escorts you and the child to another fairy ring and sends you on your way. You reappear in the meadow where the mother waits anxiously. You reunite the mother with her child. The mother embraces her child and thanks you profusely. I will say a prayer for you every day. You gain fine fame. Now, if this doesn't give me the token, that is crazy. We have Mother's Blessing. At the beginning of each new map, draw a blessing if you have more curses than blessings. Interesting. That's kind of like the perfect card for this event also. So we're going to take some starvation damage. Unless we can buy some food. Which we can't.
The damage will persist
give us
unless
food.
you can find a meal to relieve yourself.
We're looking for huge success. Following the huge tracks, you find a monstrous white boar by the river. You stealthily approach as he sharpens a single tusk on a boulder. When he senses your presence, he grunts in a common tongue with a strange, lilted accent. Spare this old blood, blessed mortal. So do we want a blessing, or do we want to slay him and claim an item? Well, he's a talking boar, so let's spare him. You lower your sword, the boar watches you with sad red eyes before bowing cautiously. Allies deal 20% damage in combat. And that gives me the shard. You continue hunting until the sun begins to set, then you haul your kills back to the farmers. Ursus paces in front of a pile of dead beasts as the farmer tallies your kills. So, this has nothing, I guess, to do with getting the shard. We just want the biggest number possible. And if we can win both, that would be great. Well, so in this you have a blessing, and some curses. So we have this blessing, we have this curse, we have this curse, we have this curse, and then we have this blessing. So that would look like a terrible thing, is to have 5 blessings and 4 curses. Except for the fact that we now land on this. Apparently I just got healed for health for some reason. I'm not sure. Maybe that's one of the blessings. I'm not even really paying attention. Let's see. So, this character will eat your curses. And the thought here is if we give him so we want to get 3 6s, and we're not going to do that, are we? So then we just want probably the biggest number possible. 16 would have been at least the minimum we should have shot for. So it doesn't eat all your curses. Okay. Let's discard the first game card you receive each level. Food received from game card. It says halved. Consume 2 food and 1 instead of 1 when traveling. I'm gonna get rid of that one. So that didn't go as well as I'd hoped. We don't have enough food. But we aren't guaranteed a loss. I thought that platinum card was going to take like all 4 of my curses and give me a just massive reward for having so many curses. I guess that was asking too much for this game. So we were supposed to get a blessing, I thought, every time we into the new level.
The damage taken from starvation is more than the healing delivered by eating. As with many things, we find ourselves sliding further and further into hardship.
I don't have anything right now, so losing 20 fame isn't as big a deal. Draw a life pain card at it before every encounter. It would be wasted gold to even buy one food. In fact, you're gonna eat 2 food when you walk anyways, so having 2 food itself is not that useful. Suppose since you know the starting position, it might also be wise to not use the assistance if you know you're going to bump a negative card in the center. So more and more just corner one person and try not to clump up. I definitely have gotten better at targeting specific people and bashing specific people.
Combat solves so little. It has ended this, however.
So we did get another card. The Ring of the Feast. So I guess we're gonna try again, but I am getting fairly bored of doing the same mission. And yeah, I kind of just question, probably shouldn't be playing that one. We know this is a blessing card. Illicit trade to get an item. Getting items may just be the move. A loan shark to get gold. We could do that, but it's probably not the right thing to do. I feel like the move is to probably gain resources, gain food with that. Let's ask. This one we still have an item on, so we should keep that one. Trade life, gain life. Card chances. Map being revealed. Gain food. Let's take. It's crazy to take that brimstone card, but think it is actually what I'm gonna end up doing. A bomb artifact. Empire Fort. Replay a specific encounter. I feel like being blessed probably is the right move. Otherwise, it is just reveal what is on the map. Which that may also be a smart move. There's just a lot of stuff here. It's just way too many cards. Did we really do anything special around that? No. Nor did we do anything special if we had more money to start with instead of extra food to start with. Or an actual weapon to start with. Yeah, I think I want to give this one more time, then it definitely feels like the move is to probably just work your way backwards and pick a different challenge. Bring Colborne back to life by fighting a bunch of Northerners and play event cards that will end up with you fighting a bunch of Northerners. Okay, there's small chance of success here. Not that high.
Back to the bones. I hope you have learned to be their master.
The thing that really falls apart here is that you get the curse after this first encounter, so you're drained immediately, then your food supply is made shockingly low. And I can see a lot of players not even trying this mission a second time, just determining that it is too difficult, that it's a little unfair feeling, and not even trying to figure out ways around it. What equipment do we have? We have this. Fully heal or revive your companion and recharge their ability when activated. Can be used at the camp to revive a disabled companion. Pious robes, so you don't starve. For 28. Can we get to 28 though? Or just finish up the token on that for 32. forward. Let's not use insistence here. Just hope we get lucky. So we actually have our assistant in the fight. Although we don't really need her in the fight. For a lot of games like this, I could see just enjoying a single dice roll, like one dice representing each of your attacks, and a single dice going against a handful of dice, say 6 to 10 dice being rolled in one roll, going against the opponent's rolling 10 dice.
As you travel, you will find fame and infamy follow you. Not yet, however.
Kind of went lucky there. Alright. Let's continue exploring. Let's decide what we want to do here. Probably don't need to do the general store. We have to go down to the friendly innkeep to get to the Terror Vein ore. Oh, we actually don't. Let's not go that way. Let's go back this way and see if we can do this
The earth here is
companion
torn
quest.
and bleeding. Take caution.
You have one mechanical oddity and one sigil pumpkin. A chunk of Terror Vein ore is the last thing I need before I can rebuild Anders Forge. Terror Vein ore isn't as ominous as it sounds, Adrian explains as you approach the great gaping maw of the Salt Cliff Mines. I believe a bandit Rand is in charge here. The dusty miners travel the winding paths into the earth, pushing heavy carts stacked high with glimmering blue ore. Enter the mine. You follow a group of weary workers deep into the mine, rich veins of ore glittering in dim lamplight. Clouds of dull blue ore dust hang in the air, stinging your eyes. When you squint, you can make out a man in the distance, haranguing a group of tired-looking workers. That'd be Rand. Let's approach Rand. He glares at you warily, occasionally shouting at miners to hurry up. Let's see. Ask who he is. He leans against a dusty wall and lazily flicks a wrapper at a passing miner, causing them to flinch. I'm Rand the fighter, and I'm in charge when the boss ain't here. When the boss ain't here, so I'm in charge. You start to cough. The blue dust is impossible to escape. Let's let Erinne do the talking. Look at Erinne and she smiles understandingly. She raises her hammer in a slow arcing over her head and brings it crashing down right where the man is standing. At the last minute, he nimbly leaps out of the way. Join in. Rand the fighter yells and the tunnels fill with well-armed lackeys. So we chose to fight here, which may be a wise move to just fight early instead of letting the blue dust poison us. Or it might have just been an insanely unnecessary move. And he is a silencer class. I am down to 31 health. There's Rand dead. If we can just let our assistant kill her before I get killed by him throwing a bomb. We are very, very close to a loss there, but I think we succeeded. I hope we succeeded. The miners look horrified as you slay the last attacker. What have you done? The Thieves Guild will take vengeance on us for this. Panic spreads throughout the mine. Your protest and attempts to explain only anger them further. Aranadi looks confused, still clutching her hammer. Come on, I think we have to go. We didn't do the heroic thing. Okay. We're gonna have to eat a decent amount of this food. Friendly innkeeper. Don't really need lodging. We can't afford healing, and he doesn't have any food, so that proved to be useless. We don't have 50 gold. So almost certainly the pious robes make sense here. Don't starve. Instead lose one left. Max life. We do have to fight now for that armor, but that armor is going to prove, I think, to be very helpful in this run. I'd really hoped to succeed in that companion mission. I'm getting shot a lot here, and I don't have a shield, so there's no way to block being shot other than rolling, I would guess. It's pretty obvious all this loading slows the game down way too much. We don't have any money, so I don't think it would make a lot of sense to go to the general store. But what I can possibly do here is eat a bunch of food and see if when we walk on this brimstone card, if he would give me something. I guess the answer to that is no. So I wasted a ton of food there. I think the illicit merchant card, in retrospect, here, is not going to ever be helpful. You're just not likely to run into a scenario where you're going to have 50 gold to buy a platinum card. We have a very glitchy character there. on. In this case, the only thing we should be able to offer is either blood or gold or glory. Same offering. So you take 3 gold. We can't do gold. So do we want to lose our glory? No. So let's just go do blood. It could have been worse. I don't think talking to anybody does anything helpful. This could remove even one. I'd be really appreciative if we can remove 2 curses, which is 12. Let's see. I can release you of 2 curses. What curse will it give me? So you need to get rid of 3 curses, but boy does that change everything now. Let's go this way. So we're still starving, but we're kind of in a really good position. We have enough fame to avoid really those Inquisitor encounters.
Can you claim this token?
So much of this, though, it really is just... It's just a case of skipping the dialogue and trying to play as fast as possible so you can go through these encounters multiple times. Right, so now we just need a 16. If I got a 6 and a 6 here, that would be 20. 5 and a 5 would be 18. 4 and 4 would be 16. So is it worth it to try to roll for one of the 2 higher things? I don't know. I don't know what the odds really are. But I don't think that you get the token if you get over, say, 25, but fail. I think you have to win both rolls. Okay. So do we want to do Fairy Ring? Or do we want to do Healer? Healer. Healer first. Now, do we have enough information? She could remove curses, and this is one scenario where we don't need any curses removed. Let's see. I'm gonna do a little bit of everything in the hopes that this would work. So should I trade a bunch of food? Let's see. If I gave him 10 food, I wonder. It gives you a 50-50 shot. Then we can use our character's ability. So it's 3 out of 4 shot. Since we know this is negative for success. And then I think we can go ahead and give away Fate's Path and trade that for a different blessing. At the beginning of each new map, draw a blessing if you have more curses than blessings. Which that may not ever really be the case at the beginning of this map, because you don't get the curses until later. Until after the first step of the map. So doing Fairy Ring is probably a bad card. Yep. Definitely feels like it's a bad card. It is crazy that there is just a different style of attack completely for armored people. And how many finishers and attacks can we really do in a row? Feels like that should have unlocked some kind of achievement. And then there's way over here in the corner. So yeah, Mother's Blessing at this point would have never kicked in. Even if I did have 2 curses at this point, it still really wouldn't have kicked in. You always would have had Mayor's Blessing, you always would have had Mother's Blessing, you very possibly would have had something else. Charge Bashed. You need to defend to get the Charge Bash to work on this. And how do you defend when you're fighting with a weapon that's not one-handed? So I'd have to drop down to the neglected sword to use the shield to just get Charge Bashes to eventually accomplish something, and that just doesn't make sense. So I think in this case, watching and dice rolling is the right move. Let's see. Continue to watch. When we failed the dice roll before, an ogre showed up. Now the ogre comes in. Alright, so the move here
Nicely timed.
is to probably not watch and just sneak up on them as quickly as possible. Because watching actually isn't doing anything for me other than adding enemies or not adding enemies. I wouldn't have thought skeletons would have had bombs to throw. They are acid bombs. Uniquely in that case, it seems like the mage is the only enemy you actually have to kill. What is the... Okay, what we wanted just to do is kind of avoid that. Alright, that is potentially a game over scenario there. We're not getting our companion with us. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, at 48 health, I'm gonna have to bob and weave. Don't even try to repause it. Just find somebody worth hitting and roll. That's hit number 1. That's hit number 2. Hit number 3. Hit number 4. If I survive this, I will be shocked. But yeah, you definitely run into a problem here where, how do you recover? Don't have money to buy food. We could sell this. Probably should have sold that a while ago. We can buy this. Buy this. We were kind of in a good position before I took so much damage. So the move is, I guess, to heal up to about that point. You take 1 step, you heal 1 more time. You now have a new curse. Fail miserably at that. Gonna have to fight an ogre now by myself. With every other encounter, I'm gonna now gain a new curse. Now the good news is I do think I kinda know what the move is. As far as dealing with the ogre, I think, well, first of all, you don't let him hit you. Okay.
Now death comes to you. This story ends here.
So at that point, it does just feel like it's going to take multiple attempts. And I wouldn't really want to change anything here. I don't think any of these other companions are particularly better. Yeah. And then as far as encounters go, I guess that one didn't help. And still trying to win on that. That one didn't help. This one doesn't help. Which would mean we need to probably consider some of these other cards once again. The platinum card here still has a shard on it, so you still would want to need to do that. So taking that probably is the right move. Gaining fame is probably a right move also. Although it comes kind of naturally also. Gain resources. Makes sense. Gain resources. So that's pretty much, I think, all I would really want to change. We do know that that card's not useful. We do know that card's not useful. Discard and ignore the first curse you draw. So if we looked around here and see if there's any other slightly newer cards or different cards. Duplicate a card on that. Extra gold. Do you have this card? Yeah, but that's pretty much, I think, all I can really change. And that's just not enough. So, what we need to do is go around in circles here and see what we can do for the High Priestess. Let's see. In this, gain blessings to increase your chances of success. Northern honor. Do expect to be welcomed by northern men while treading your land. Campfire. Survey Mount Freitas by restoring life. Survive Mount Friedis by restoring life in the camp. Okay. Now, in this scenario, I don't think any of these cards really matter too much. So, we'll stick with our companion there. And then we'll get rid of anything that isn't likely to give us a blessing. Or maybe move the companion story forward. This removes curses, but I don't think in this case we actually need to remove curses. Gain fame, equipment, resources. Choose a resource. We need something that would get us blessed more. So that probably is Fairy Ring. That one. And that one. We may straight up need to run that card also. There's only 6 cards that we can pick. So these may not be the best cards in particular to have to try and get a blessing. There could very easily be 2 or 3 more cards that would get you blessings. That one is guaranteed a blessing if you have a ton of food, but this one would give you more blessings potentially. Almost wonder if you should do Soothsayer at all times, since you can just get anything from that. Yeah. And this would be gold for a blessing. So there's 6 spots. I'm taking one of them up for a companion quest. But there's about 8 blessing cards. Let's just start with Northerner weapons. That's the one we want to use. This would be nice to use. Complete the Empress with this item to unlock this token, not the High Priestess, which is what we're playing. Complete High Priestess with this item in 12 blessings. So this gives you a brimstone difficulty on this, and we should see how that works. Whether that actually changes the difficulty in playing the level, or if it simply is just an extra requirement. This is Northerners. This is Northerners. A lot of these cards I probably can pull off now, because I generally just kind of know what I'm doing way more. question is, should we take a blessing card or a platinum card in this case? Just so much, so few, such a small amount of items here. Okay, I probably don't want to take any of that. Probably don't want to take Fate's Path. Would any of these actually respond to Northerners? Deposit 25 Northerners. I guess we should do that one. So yeah, we can see this is a brimstone version of this encounter, even though we don't have gold for it, but there's just so few card slots in that scenario. I have no idea how you're going to end up with 12 blessings. That seems kind of crazy. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. We'll see what happens next time. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, and keep on watching.